Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for coming
Good.
on, speaking your
Of,
piece.
of course. Now, I frequently engage with your content,
Oh,
so
really? Yeah, you said
yeah.
that. That's
Hmm.
I get women watch. I would say about 30% of my women are 30% of my audience is women, but they're not
Yeah.
vocal. They don't say anything. So
I mean, you be
yeah,
right a lot of times, so there's not much to say.
and I be right all the time.
Mm.
I be right all the time. If it come out my mouth, it's facts. But
Hmm.
fellas, this is about fellas, ladies and gentlemen, this is about the Little Dirk comments he made about India. So um she basically had a difference of opinion on my post, and I don't be liking typing and all that shit, and reading all that shit is too long. But
Hmm.
you're being as though you're a supporter of mine, and
Hmm.
being as though you're a supporter of mine, I wanted to see if you wanted to,
Yeah.
we can chop it up on here.
Okay.
Now, let me preface this by saying the guys in the chat, y'all know how I like my chat. I don't like disrespect. I don't
Hmm.
like trolls. So if I see your comment or some trolly or disrespectful shit, I'm getting you up out of here. You already know how I roll, so we'll start there.
Okay.
Um, now,
Hmm.
so I personally don't care too much about a woman's body count or
Hmm.
her past, but that's
Yeah.
my preference. A
Yeah.
lot of my following, they do,
Hmm.
right? Um, And so I have to do what I have to do to help them get what they want. So if that's something that they want in a mate or whatever, I have to tell them things to spot that, because a lot of women aren't
Hmm.
going to be open about that
Hmm. Hmm.
in fear of being judged. So
Yeah.
again, me personally, I don't care too much as long as it's not anything extreme.
Crazy. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
I understand that, in America, especially nowadays,
In
people go through whole
2022.
phases. Huh?
In 2022.
Yeah, 2022. I don't even think it's just now. I think it's always been like that. Me
No,
personally,
I mean when I say 2022, I'm just saying like especially now in
yeah.
2022, like that expectation I think is unrealistic.
Well, when I don't think so though. I don't think
Okay.
so. Me
Okay.
personally, I just don't care too much because
Okay.
I understand what's going on. But
Okay.
I don't think that it's unrealistic for a man to want something that not a lot of people has had.
Okay, so you
That's
just said it's not unrealistic to have expectations for a rare occurrence.
not necessarily expectations, because you shouldn't personally you shouldn't expect anybody to be anything, but
Yeah.
a man to desire that, to desire a woman who has not been around the block, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I don't,
Okay.
you understand?
The I so the reason why I okay, so people can desire what they desire, so there's not innately wrong with that.
Right.
Why I think it's wrong in a sense is the numbers just don't add up, right? If nearly all of the men in our culture is trying to add bodies, right? Like I had said in the comment, there
Hmm.
isn't a subsection of the female population that we siphon off to become wives. You guys are having sex with the general female population. So if
Right.
all of you are trying to add bodies, then proportionately the body count's going to go up for the women as well. It's unrealistic because all of you are trying to do it. And when I say all of you, it's a very general all of you, right? I don't
Right.
necessarily mean 100%. So it's like the nature of men to want more women, and the fact that it's all of you, it makes it such a rare occurrence. It makes it unrealistic. So you want to have sex with women, but you want to find women that haven't had sex. That doesn't make you're having sex with women. Like,
Now let
so
me
that,
let me let
yeah.
me let me correct you right there, right?
Okay.
This is a misconception that a lot of women had, and it's a misconception that I had before I
Okay.
started coaching. I
Okay.
thought every guy was like me.
Yeah.
I'm the minority of guys who just want this one, and this one, and this one. Of course, I've outgrown that at this point in my
Yeah.
life, but to the overwhelming majority of guys just want to find a woman to settle down with. They are thrown off by the word player. The overwhelming majority of guys, and I know that's hard for a woman to understand because you deal with a certain type of guy, but most guys are not like me or like the man that I've been. I know that's hard to understand.
That's new
But
information. Yeah.
but most guys can barely get a date with a woman. But if you ask a woman, right? If you ask a woman, most of the times women think that men have more sex and men are more promiscuous. But
Yeah.
the overwhelming majority of these guys can't even get a date.
Aren't even
Right?
sexually active.
Ain't even sexually active. And all they want is just somebody to settle down with. The overwhelming majority of my audience, if I poll them, and I have, what do you want to tow around, or you just want to find you a woman to settle down with? I've polled them several times throughout the years, and the overwhelming majority just want to find them a woman to settle down with. Everybody not a dog like me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that throws a wrench in everything that I'm thinking.
You see, this is why women see it like this, because they only deal with guys like me. And so their whole life has been trying to deal with guys like me, while they neglect the overwhelming majority of the population.
Okay. Yeah.
This is why you see a lot of the bitterness. The bitterness, like even in my comment section, you'll see a lot of what seems like bitterness towards women. It's because these guys aren't able to do it.
Okay.
Because women have basically been ignoring them their whole lives.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Right?
Now,
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So you have had a lot of sexual experience. Women tend to want to be with you. Do men also kind of want to be friends with you? Do people generally gravitate towards you?
Men not so much. Men not so much.
So you wouldn't say that you've had a lot of male friends, men?
Due to the lifestyle that I've lived, I've had to have associates and, business stuff, and, I've had to, be running crowds and stuff like that due to my old lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I wasn't the guy everybody was trying to, hey man, I wasn't the guy. Now when I was younger, right?
Yeah.
When I was a lot younger, I was the leader of my group of friends. But once I started to get to another level, like my mid-20s, I kind of morphed into a different crowd, and it was a different type of ball game at that point. But I wasn't the guy who everybody just wanted to be friends with.
You just said you were the leader of your pack. You're at your natural. So before you began your evolution, naturally you led other people. Right. So if you're a person that men were led by naturally, right, then obviously women are also going to be gravitating towards you. A lot of the time, these men, and that in my mind, right, so I'm thinking it's like a medium size, but if you're saying it's majority, they also don't really have like niggas just don't really be around them either. Like they don't have gravitas, they don't have presence. Even in all your videos, you have executive presence. The way that you speak, it commands respect. It draws people in. There's nothing that draws nobody in about you.
Right.
And so I've noticed with your content, you've deviated from, trying to get money, because a lot of the red pill content says to get money, right? But what that is you're trying to do a substitute. You're trying to substitute for having an interesting personality.
Yeah.
If you have an interesting personality, that women will begin to gravitate towards it. You'll also see that men tend to. So that's why I said, like, well, rightfully so. You're probably not a very interesting guy.
Right. But that doesn't. So does that disqualify a man from getting what he desires? Should he not expect? Because he's not as interesting as me. And the reason that I'm interesting is because I come from an interesting place.
Yes.
So it's not like God just made me just hold you interesting. No, I was smart enough to take my experiences, although negative, throughout my life, and kind of, make them positive and make them reflect in my character. So, So a guy who comes from let's say a not so interesting background, we had his mother and his father, middle America, or, suburbia or whatever, went to a regular high school, didn't grow up in the hood fighting every day like me, didn't go up. Yeah. He didn't come up like that. Does that disqualify him from, having a mate long term?
Okay,
what
so
these guys really want.
So he can have a mate long term, but this whole body count thing, it's an illusion. And so I know you made the comparison that women want, especially if a woman's not financially stable, she wants a financial man. And it's the same in terms of it's hypocritical, right? But it's different because if you with a man that has economic standing, it lifts you up, right? Your children have better outcomes as well. Your grandchildren have better outcomes. This body count thing is simply to self-soothe, right?
No.
Because listen, right? Because you cannot independently verify her body count. Like, I have a question. If you've been to Miami Dade Memorial, you've been to New Orleans, I'm sure you had a couple of nightstands. Do you think those women are counting you in their body count?
No.
Do you
But
think
listen,
they do remember you to count you in their
of
body
course,
count?
everybody remembers me. No, I'm just no, I love
Like,
Miami. Miami's my second home, by the way. But
I'm from Miami, but yeah, but so what I'm saying is, so like, if you're asking what my body count is, like, I'm gonna give you a number, but it's not real.
but it's not even now. I do believe the idea of like putting a number on a body count is ridiculous, and I've expressed this. Like, you just know
Yeah,
you ain't gonna never be able to know that. But however, you can tell where a woman has been at. You can tell where a man has been at. See,
yeah,
you may not think that there are wolves like me that know where you've been at, and I know how to tell where you've been at based on your behavior. We wear where we've been at.
that's true. I
We
agree.
we wear do like I'll give you an example. Does it seem like I come from a corporate background?
No, I guess not. Not off the top. No.
Right, just looking at me based on the way I carry
Yeah,
myself. I don't come from a
yeah.
corporate background. I wear, regardless of how much I try to hide it, I wear where I come from. I
Mhm.
wear where I've been. And women don't understand that there are guys that can read where you've been. So I might not be able to know if you have a lot of bodies, right? But
Mhm.
I can tell by the way that you behave if you do.
Okay.
So the whole trying to put a number on shit is kind of crazy.
Mhm.
Now, for the people who don't know what we're talking about, I made in reference to the little dirt comment. I compared it to women wanting a financially stable guy. I kind of forgot at this point. I read so much shit, but basically, her stance was just tell them your stance again, because I want to.
I
Before
mean,
we go too much into it, I want
I mean,
them to understand where we're coming from.
I thought the stance was stupid, essentially, because you can't. I don't think it really means anything, and
Right,
it's not something material. You can't really do anything with it. It's a self-soothe.
right. Now,
Mhm.
it's not self-soothe, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
It's not the same way, like you say, you put tangible things on
Mhm.
a man's finances, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
You can put tangible things on that. Let me ask you this question, right?
Okay.
You basically say you could put tangible things like a man's
Yeah.
finances, security, paying for kids' school and food and housing and bills and stuff, which is you
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
Now let me ask you this question.
Mhm.
You don't got to answer, but your facial
Yeah.
expression gonna let me know. Have you
Okay.
ever in your life, I'm not ever in your life, but do you remember the
Mhm.
first time you had sex with a guy that you liked? Just the first time that you really liked, and he didn't
Okay.
like you back, and you didn't get anything out of him, or he didn't call you back. Do you remember that feeling?
I mean, no.
You don't remember that feeling?
I mean,
Not. Now let me rep. Not saying going into when you're in a whole phase or you down in
yeah.
Miami or whatever at the Goon Bay or wherever you at, and you see something you smash and not that, but a guy you
Yeah.
like, the guy you into, and
Yeah.
this may have been when you was a teenage girl or whenever,
Yeah.
but you give him the
Um,
goods
yeah. Yeah.
and he dog you out. Do
He's uninterested afterwards. Yeah.
you know how that feel? You remember that feeling?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the thing with trauma, right? The thing with trauma, and this
Okay.
is what women don't understand.
Okay.
The thing with trauma, after the first time initially it stings. Right?
Mhm.
Just like the first time somebody made fun of you or whatever, it stings. But after so long, I got told I had a dickhead my whole life. You got a dickhead, you're a conehead. When I was a
Yeah.
kid, it used to bother me. But after
Yeah.
it's whatever, you get numb to it, right?
Yeah.
So this happens and it
Mm-hmm.
stings. You
Yeah.
feel like worthless. You feel low. It makes you feel less than, right? As
Yeah.
a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
The more this happens, right? The more you give your body without getting back,
Okay.
it fucks with your behavior, right? It
Mm-hmm.
fucks with it fucks with
Mm-hmm.
your mental well-being, right? The more
Mm-hmm.
a woman gives her body away and not get anything back, the same way a man gives his resources away and not get anything back. So the same feeling that you get, right? The same feeling that you get when you get dogged by a man, that's what we get when we go on a date with a woman and take her to a restaurant and she don't call us back.
Okay.
See, the value systems are different. So you looking at we want to get to sex, 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 sex. You want to get the time past the
Mm-hmm.
sex.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way women value. So what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is, the more this happens to a woman, the more she becomes
Mm-hmm.
jaded,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and this typically comes with anxiety.
Yeah.
I teach my guys, right? The guys who want, who want to spot things like that, is to look for anxiety
Mm-hmm.
in a woman, because
Mm-hmm.
anxiety and promiscuity tend to go hand in hand. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a full circle.
Yeah.
So there may not be in the more sex, the worse, right? The more casual sex, the worse, and the more promiscuity, the worse this tends to have an effect.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this may not manifest itself tangibly in the form of
Mm-hmm.
she may not be able to pay bills,
Mm-hmm.
but this type of a person's energy and a person's mentality and a person's mental health is going to affect you. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to affect the other person that they're with.
Yeah, I agree.
If that makes sense.
No, I
So
do.
now,
Yes.
me being the guy that I am,
Yeah.
I know how to deal with that, so long
Mm-hmm.
as it's not too much. Most
Mm-hmm.
guys don't.
Yeah.
Now, most guys, I'm not going to say that they look at it in that way, but that's just one thing. Because I could name more things that why guys have a problem with that, but that's just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear a guy say, I would rather women with a low body count, blah 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 blah, or they ain't been around the block, they ain't been passed around and shit. It's to a woman, it's like, well, how could you, how, like what, how,
Mm-hmm.
you're the same. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't affect us the same. Like it doesn't.
Okay.
Sex doesn't affect us the same, because when we have sex with you, we conquering you, right?
Okay.
We
Okay.
conquering you. You're not now when you penetrate our heart, or you get us open and we spending money on you, you've conquered us, right? So the more a person is conquered, the easier, not the easier, but it's look at Africa, right?
Yeah.
Look what's going on in Africa. They're just getting conquered and conquered and conquered by the Chinese, the
It,
British, the
it's
this,
been pillaged. Mm-hmm.
and look at the state of the resources, the state of the people, everything.
Chaos, disorder.
I know you know some hoes. Everybody
So
knows some hoes.
yes, yes,
Regardless
yes.
of how well they put together on Instagram or in the physical, just think about what's going on internally. Now think about your son dealing with a woman like that.
So I completely agree with what you're saying, especially if it's in hopes that things are going to work out and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, and then they start developing a broken personality.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that hypersexuality is not great for men either. So no, he's not going to end up broken if that is what he's looking for. But men that are incredibly hypersexual, their life is also incredibly chaotic and disorder. It manifests in different ways. He likely, a lot of times, you can't really fucking focus. I'm sorry, I'm trying to stop cursing. Most of the time, they're not really able to hold a job. And then their networks around them, they're a lot of the times their relationships suffer. I know this because I'm a daughter of a man, like I'm a side baby, so like my dad was incredibly hypersexual. He ran through all his money. Like by the time he was done with it, he was dead broke. And then the women that he dealt with all became very angry and bitter. So we're talking about all the contention that he's dealing with them. Then his kids his children being raised by women that were
Right.
bitter because of him, right? So that it manifests differently, which is why I know a lot of times men think that women want men that have been around a lot. I don't agree. I think we want men that can have a lot of women, right? But when we call somebody community peen, that's not a compliment, right?
Right.
When we're like, oh nah, girl, don't fuck him, girl. Like he try to fuck everybody, right? Like it's not attractive because it does kind of like it sows disorder. It's different. It manifests differently between men and women, but I wouldn't say that men walk out of hypersexuality unscathed.
Now, let
That's
me
my
tell you
opinion
why.
on
Let me
that.
make that make sense to you, right? I
Okay.
agree. I agree. But
Mhm.
hypersexuality is not the cause for a man's dysfunction like it is for a woman. Hypersexuality,
Okay.
right? A man's dysfunction is the consequences of hypersexuality because he's neglecting his life. So
Okay.
when you see a man that don't have it together because of he's chasing ass, it's because
Mhm.
he's taking the time to chase ass instead
Mhm.
of building his shit. Now the
Mhm.
man who can focus on building his shit and making
Mhm.
his life together and
Yeah.
still get us some ass, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that because it doesn't affect us mentally. If you understand, in
Okay.
fact, it actually makes us more confident when we conquer women, when we conquer people, but women, more so women. And when we get a woman to like us and we seduce her and we get her to submit to us through sex, that's a
Mhm.
confidence boost for us. The same
Okay.
way it's a confidence boost for you to when you get that man to like you, right?
Mhm.
After you give him some ass.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the more a man fucks and conquers, this is why they keep doing it. Now, at the peril of neglecting, at the peril of neglecting your, at the peril of neglecting your life,
Mhm.
neglecting building your shit. You spend all this time chasing ass.
Mhm.
When you come out of it, you're gonna be fucked up. You're gonna be broke, right?
Mhm.
But doing so, winning people over in general gives us confidence. When you win a
Okay.
friend, it gives you confidence. When you get a sale, when you get that Stripe or that PayPal, it gives you confidence. It gives you dopamine. Your testosterone levels raise. It's the
I
same
mean,
goes. Listen, the same happens when you conquer a woman. When you get her on her knees and she treating you like a king. So the more a guy does that, this is why you see guys who have a lot of women typically have the confidence to go with it.
yeah. I
You
mean,
see
but
what I'm
I think.
saying? So it's not that the act itself
Mhm.
is fucking his life up. His life is fucked up because he neglected his life in lieu of chasing ass. But women, when you are conquered and conquered and conquered and conquered and
Mhm.
conquered and conquered and conquered, and this guy hitting it, this guy hitting it, this guy hitting it. Now, it's not about soul tie because I don't believe in all that crazy soul tie shit. But
No.
just from a biological standpoint, right? And mentally,
Right,
it's a
but
difference.
I
Because
would say
you get like, damn, I'm letting this dude fuck me. He don't like me. I'm letting this dude fuck me. He don't like me. All these
right.
dudes want
So
me for sex.
it's the expectations, it's not the act. It's not the
What?
fact that I'm letting this guy fuck me. It's the fact that my expectations are continuously being let down, right? Especially as women, we put a lot of stock in being able to secure a man, right? Outside of even men themselves, right? Amongst women, like we raise our statue amongst ourselves if we're
Right.
able to score a man.
Right.
So it's I wouldn't say it's the act. It's the failed expectations and the fact that, oh my gosh, this girl who I think she's pretty trash is like she has a man and now she's married and now she's kind of like a little higher than me. And all these girls that I don't really respect are kind of higher than me, right? Because of
Right.
the way we start rank and filing within amongst ourselves.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is, just the mental aspect of it for the woman in dealing
Okay.
with a man in a relationship. Because me personally, and I'm pretty sure most guys like me, I know the difference between dealing with a woman who's not as promiscuous and one who is.
Okay.
And women who are not as promiscuous tend to be tend to be more optimistic, more positive. not as much baggage. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I
Women
agree.
like to shame men and say, "Oh, you just want somebody you can control," but it's not really about that. I mean, I would want the easiest thing as far as a mate, right?
Yeah.
So, but women who've been around a little bit more, they tend to be more jaded. They tend to have more guards up. They tend to be more cynical. They tend to have
Yeah.
less trust. Just overall harder to deal with
Yes.
for
I
the,
agree.
especially for the average guy. But for a man like me, I know how to nip that in the bud extremely fast. I know how to deal with stuff like that. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying? Now,
Right.
if you, right,
Mhm.
and she said in the comments, it's when the man don't want her, right?
Mhm.
Most you have to, for a woman, and if I'm wrong, I don't believe I'm wrong, but for you to get to a point
Mhm.
to where you want to have casual sex,
Mhm.
I don't think that that's natural for a woman to get to a point. I mean, to just
Mhm.
come out and just want to have casual sex with this guy, this guy, this guy. So like she said, oh, it lets us down when we having sex with the guy that don't want us,
Mhm.
right? But what happened to where you got to the point as a woman to where you just want to give yourself to a man and get nothing in return?
Yeah.
See, that's the
Especially
way.
because it.
See, that's what we skip, right? We skip that piece. So you may say a woman, you may see a woman say, "I don't want nothing from them. It's just sex with me. It's just sex with me." But yeah, but what happened? What happened
Before
that
that.
led you to here? See. So it's like, okay, you promiscuous. So not only is the promiscuity affecting
Yeah.
you mentally, but for you to even get here to this point, there had to be something.
Okay.
And we
Yeah.
have to deal with you emotionally. Like we have
Yeah.
to deal with that. When you get with a partner, you're gonna have to deal with these things. Men have to deal with that baggage. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's not that he's shallow or he's fucking he's shallow or he's stupid or it's not or he's immature and shit like that. It's not that. It's I'm already out in the world dealing with everything else. I want my woman to be the path to with the path to least resistance to greatness, to where I need to go, right?
You
And
know
a
what?
lot of the times,
Yeah.
slutty women come with a lot.
You
That's
you know
not
what?
even thinking about where your girl is, but we ain't even got to the ego part yet.
Right. 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 Right.
We ain't even
See,
to the ego part yet.
I mean, you're saying that, but I obviously I'm not a man. I am speaking out of turn.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of this is based. I'm not sure if you're Christian. I'm not Christian, but a lot of this is based on purity and Christianity. So you're saying that a lot of men are saying, "Oh, I realize that if I deal with a woman that's been around, she's gonna be more difficult because she's gonna be traumatized." That's not what it is. Like a lot of times, it's kind of like it's language around purity, and it's based on religion, which is not
Now,
rational.
okay, so then let's go here, right? I knew we was
Okay.
going here.
Ooh.
Let's go here, right? So when I make my content, I be tricking women. Y'all don't even know, right? I be tricking y'all because I
Okay.
know I'm gonna do something and y'all gonna contradict yourself. So I'm gonna ask you a question. I made a video the other day talking about tricks, men who are tricks, right? And then basically, a man who's a trick is a man who's can be easily separated from his money by
Mm-hmm.
pussy, right? A woman can easily conquer him. Right? So just think about it like this. You got a man who,
Mm-hmm.
and not even just a trick. This is why the women desire strong men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just think if you had a man that every time a woman smiled at him, right,
Mm-hmm.
he melted and opened his heart.
Mm-hmm.
In a woman's mind, what that means? Oh my God, my resources. Right? It ain't even
Okay.
about the sex. Oh my God, my resources. This is why when y'all catch a guy cheating, the first thing y'all ask is, do you like her? Do you like
Mm-hmm.
her? What do you see in her that you don't see in me? It don't even
Mm-hmm.
be about the act of fucking. It's my security is where. So this is what you have to understand. Men need security too, right?
Okay.
We need security too in what we are investing in. This
Okay.
man is a multimillionaire.
Okay.
All type of shit on the line. a reputation and everything. Y'all may not appreciate how hard we work for our money and our resources. You may not appreciate it, but we work hard to provide that level of lifestyle for you. Even if it's not that type of lifestyle, men work hard for that. I don't want to invest in something that any average person can say something to and she crack, because that represents a security risk to me.
Yes.
This is the common problem that most guys can articulate. What I articulated before rings true, but most guys don't know how to express that. But this is the thing, right? So if you have a track record of being easily conquered, what does that say for me? For the guy who's going to invest. See, again, women don't really take the time to appreciate how far a man will go and how far he has to sacrifice to provide and protect for his woman.
I agree, but typically even if a woman, let's say she's not traumatized, but maybe she's gone around, she went through a whole phase. Typically, if a woman is committed to you, she is not interested in other men. Men are generally, we're the fairer sex, so men are generally attractive, right? You kind of have to keep investing in him for him to spend more money on you. So it doesn't really make sense, because unless you are habitually cheating, continuously breaking the relationship and the trust, typically women have no problem being faithful, because it's too much energy to have to go through and vet all these men. So that is not mitigated by a low body count. That's mitigated by, I think, having a woman that actually loves you and interested in you. Because I do think if you are a promiscuous woman and you find a guy, and I know this person, and you find a guy that you really like and you really, really love, you do not seek out other men, because men is so cheap. It's very easy. Like it's not anything, especially if you're a woman that's moderately attractive. It's just not anything to really care about, right? But so to me, it's kind of like that body count thing is not really going to play into that, because if she's with you, she's not really going to be trying to mess with these niggas. Now, what these niggas don't say is that they start destroying the relationship and destroying the trust, and then she starts deviating her attention elsewhere. That is actually what, in my experience, talking to women, when they begin to start stepping out. Not before.
So they can be, and I want to touch on your point, but I want to, some you just said, they start destroying the relationship, or they start destroying the trust. It's not her shitty attitude and her poor mental state. Hey, listen. It's not her shitty attitude and her poor mental state that contributes to that.
Yes,
see, we ain't talking
to
about
that. It contributes to that. So
now you know where that poor mental state comes from?
from going around. No. It's not because of stuff like that. There's other
I understand that men typically can cause mistrust and cheat and all of this shit, but women ain't usually cheating on those type of dudes. I know, because I've been one of them, and I had them on lock when I was treating them like shit. That ain't who women are cheating on. Let's be real. The guys who come to me crying about to blow their brains out, that's not funny. But the guys who, and I'm saying that for me because I don't want to make this a joke. I had to remind myself, don't make this a joke. But those guys,
those guys,
they not like me.
I really think you probably were being cheated on. You just probably didn't really care to look, because men are not going to look in your phone, right?
Right.
Especially if, so it's kind of like, no, the dogs are being cheated on, right? They just never ever really care enough to actually look to see what you're doing.
Right. But I'm saying as far as, because you said, the guy fucks it up and builds the trust, destroys the trust. And from what I've seen and what I've experienced, and just like you said, when a woman is about you, whether you treat her right or wrong, if a woman is about you, it's hard for her to look elsewhere. I agree with that. That's why I tell guys to position yourself a certain way and be that guy.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
However,
Oops. Yeah.
however, the it still don't take away from the logic of
Mhm.
if you know if you were easily conquered
Mhm.
before, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know that to be true, right? Because I've experienced that, right?
Yeah.
I
All right.
I've had women since seriously into me like that, and I've had women to where they will never cheat on their mans regardless of what they do, and but when
Yeah.
they break up, they call me. But there's nothing they would do to cheat on the guy that they into, right? If
Yeah.
he's that
Yeah.
solid guy.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
that still doesn't take away logic. If I have a woman who's easily conquered, right? What is going to change with me?
But what I'm
And
saying is, if she's into you, she's not. She's typically common occurrence. She's typically not easily conquered if she's
now,
into you.
okay, fair.
Yeah.
But then we human, right? And I
Okay.
make mistakes, right? As a man, I make mistakes. I'm human. We get low.
Yeah.
We get low. We fall off our horse,
Yeah.
right? So now you ain't into me for 2, 3 months.
Okay. Yeah.
You understand where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Now, a woman who's not comfortable, a woman who's not necessarily comfortable with uh, having casual sex or
Mhm. Mhm.
doing things like that, or hasn't really been there, it's going to be hard for her to do that.
She's gonna double think about that. I
It's
agree.
going to be hard. But
Yeah.
if it ain't nothing for you to go in and pop that coochie,
It's nothing for you to go do it.
see,
Okay.
I like
Yes.
you because you ain't gonna get
Yes.
on here and lie.
Yes.
but
Some women
but
can.
do you see now?
Yeah.
I understand where the frustration with women comes, right? But you guys have to understand, you gotta choose. You can't have everything. I know all these niggas in your DMs tell you can have everything you want, right? We've been telling y'all that since middle school, baby. I give you the world, but it don't really
Y'all
work
have.
like that. You either protect yourself, right, and you protect your purity because this is what men value, and they value it for this reason. I
But
still
that
haven't even got to the ego part yet, though.
but it allows you to be manipulated because so you can tell when a woman has
I'm
been
glad you say
conquered.
that, fellas. Pay attention to that. It allows you to be manipulated. This
It
is why I
allows
say
you
don't get on here and shame women.
it allows you to be because I had
You're
told
right.
you can artificially because a lot of men can't really tell, right? I
Right.
do think you probably know because you seem to have high emotional intelligence. A lot of men do not.
Right.
Matter of fact, most men do not have high emotional intelligence.
Right.
So it allows like I can come in and I'm not gonna remember the guy that I fucked in South Beach. Like I'm not gonna remember any of that. So he's not gonna be part of my body count anyways. And then like at 18 years old or 19 years old, like women we're figuring out, yo man, you talk to men in different networks, right?
Yeah.
He's never really gonna figure it out. So you might have a boyfriend in another state. Then you might have a boyfriend here, or you might have because I'm from Miami, you might know that art nigga that's in South Beach, and then know that hood nigga in Opalaka, like right. And
Yeah.
sometimes you might mess up. They might be in the same network because maybe they went to the same church together. But you start figuring that out. So then you talk to a guy. It's not. Then you begin to artificially inflate your value to him, right? And it allows him to be manipulated. For me personally, I don't want someone. I don't want to give someone something a blanket weapon that can manipulate all of us.
Right.
It
Right.
doesn't make sense
You
to me.
you you can you're right. I believe, and I tell guys this all the time. All the women got because they believe because I say shit like, hey, if she ain't fucked me by the second or third date, I'm out, right? And he's like, oh man. Guys say, oh man, you want whores, and it's not about her being a whore, right? I don't believe it makes a woman a whore if she can't resist the king, right? I don't think it makes her a whore, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's just natural. It's just natural.
yeah. Got it.
Now, if I see that there's literally no effort on my part. Now, let's say if I'm at a bar or something, and I meet a woman,
Mhm.
hey, and we fuck like within the next 10 minutes. Okay,
Mhm.
you kind of that's too fast for me, right? I will probably write you off because either a you in a state, you in a such a vulnerable state that you making decisions like that, or you are extremely comfortable with doing shit like this. And that's like on the extreme end of slutty. But if I court you regular, slide in the DMs, meet you at the store, you feel my presence, you smell my cologne, we chat on the phone for 30 minutes, we go on a date, and that happens like that, we smash on the first night, that's understandable. But when I say shit like, you know, if she ain't gave it to me by X amount of days, guys think like, well, oh, you just want whores. And they think that if a girl makes them wait, that she's special. She's not special. She just understands that you gonna judge her. But she ain't make me wait. She made you wait. So I agree. Men are manipulated that way. That's why I try to tell them, don't really trip on that. But again, I still haven't even got to the ego part.
Ego. Go ahead. Get to the ego part.
I still haven't got to the ego part, and I believe I'm making a good case for the fellas. I'm speaking for the guys, because again, I personally don't care. Me personally, I don't care, and I would prefer. There's risks to having a woman who's had a whole phase and who's comfortable with just having casual sex, right? There's a risk to it, right? But what I've learned is that women who've been through that phase, right? Just shit, you good? I can't hear you. Okay.
Yeah, say it again.
Now, me personally, I don't really care, right? Yeah. I know that there's a risk that comes with a woman who's been in the whole phase. Just like I said earlier, that, you know, if things go wrong, it's easier for her to jump out there again.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But on the flip side, women who go through shit like that typically don't want to return because it doesn't feel good on the inside. So I would prefer a woman who has been through that little phase already.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because usually if they go through it, they won't return unless something traumatic happens, like a bad breakup or they get cheated on or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But
my lighting's bad. I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
But again, guys want the security part, right? They want the security. Now, here's where we get a little egoish, right? Yeah. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What if there was a guy, you met a guy, nice guy, right? And y'all was sitting on the phone. He was everything you wanted. He was sitting on the phone, and he tells you all the stories.
Okay.
About him spending his money on women, him fucking, you know, he spent his money on women, but he was taking L's. He did trips. He did the expensive dinner dates. He did all of this shit with women before you. Basically, you know, and then he says to you, with you, we're going to wait 2-3 months before we go out on the date. Let's see. You're going to be like, bitch, how the fuck you going to do all this shit with all these other dudes? I mean, with all these other chicks, you blowing your money on all these other chicks, and you don't
like me. You obviously don't like me. You don't like me.
Right. Now, it's not that a guy may not like you, right? I mean, it's not on the flip side. It's not that the woman may not like you, but it's like everybody else has had your sexual best, right? Everybody got your sexual best. So now with me, you want to be, you know, you tired, you got a headache all the motherfucking time.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to say you're a lot more prudish, but it's just everybody else has had your sexual best, and I get this refined version of you because I want the refined version of you, but I want that hoe in you too. That's the thing. Men want that hoe in you too, but we want that refined version. So it's just like you hear me. I had all these tricking escapades to where I was just blowing all this money on women and shit. But with you, it's gonna be different. With you, you're gonna earn your keep over here.
See, but no. Typically, when women do that, a lot of the times, so you're having sex pretty early with these guys. It's not working out, right? It's like, what is it that Albert Einstein saying? You know, you keep doing the same thing, insanity. So you find a guy, you're like, I really like him. I'm gonna try something different. I don't think it's like, oh yeah, all these other niggas was like special. You got it. No, I really like you, and I also understand that men are obsessed with this. So I'm going to use everything at my disposal to make this work, right? So if that includes managing my image, okay, I'm gonna do
Right.
that. So I know sometimes men are, I read that in the red pill community, they're like, she does all that, but with you, she wanted to wait. It is a lot of times, if she actually does like you, she is trying to do everything right in order to get wifed up, right? Because ultimately, a lot of these women, the goals is to get wifed up, and a lot of times, making a man wait is conducive to that.
It's exactly right. So regardless of what it is, it's still like, well, goddamn, like,
Yeah.
like, well, goddamn.
Yeah.
And sidebar, that's not how you keep a man around, by the way, but by making him wait. That ain't how you do it, by the way. I don't want to make my fellas vulnerable, but again, it's like, okay, why I gotta wait? And the crazy part, just think about this.
Yeah.
That's just like I say, okay, you gotta wait for the trips and the dinner, even the basic dinners. You gotta wait on all that. And you gotta invest in me. We're gonna have to have sex and all of this shit. So not only do you want me to pay more,
yeah,
for what you done gave everybody else for free. Because you gotta think, even the good, nice guy that wanna be your husband, he still has a sexual side to where he wanna get freaky too. Like, he still has that side, even the nice guy.
Yeah.
He still want to see that part of you too. So how do all these, you see that where I'm coming from? And we ain't even scratched the surface of the ego. I ain't even thinking about when you laying next to your girl and you wondering, damn, she done got a train ran on her, bro. Like, we ain't even got there. So we ain't gonna get there yet. I know you gotta go in a little bit, but just think. You done gave everybody else for free. So now when you get to me, you could be a hoe, but you could still be, give me some of that too. Like,
but
at least don't make me wait.
But a lot of the times, depending on the man, you don't know. Like, for instance, for you, you're like 3 days too long. And I think a lot of sense of intelligent men kind of know that. But then these guys that are saying whores and stuff like that, right? You're like, I don't really know, right? So like, maybe it's the 6 months. Steve Harvey used to say 6 months. Maybe it's 6 months, right? So you kind of have to play it around, because if a lot of these men whose values are built on this purity thing, you have to make them wait. You have to make them wait. They otherwise don't even consider you.
Right.
Like, they kind of do that to themselves. And you can talk to them. You can know when a man starts thinking like that. Especially in my experience, if their foundational beliefs is on Christianity, like, do not give it to him anytime quickly, because he's not going.
I hope y'all learning, fellas. Go to ultimatelady'sman.com. Get on the wait list right now, because what she talking about right now is definitely in there. How not to present yourself like one of them, because they're going to make you wait for it. And it's the same chick. Why you waiting? Somebody else is getting it for free. And you just waiting and investing and investing and investing. You see what I'm saying? See, y'all don't think about it like that until I make you see that. What if this guy told you about all the women he did all these nice things for?
You're right. That is hypocritical.
You see what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah.
But you gotta wait and fuck me for 6 months before we do any of that, before we even go on a date. That's crazy. So now let's talk about, right?
Yeah.
He knows that you done banged this dude. He knows him. Let's talk about that. Yeah. So when you laying in bed at night and you look at your girl.
I know. Lil Durk has said that. He said he'll think about something 2 years ago and get mad, right?
But all of us like that.
But women will do that too. Women will do that too.
But it ain't. And you know what? You're right. It ain't about the girls he fucked. It's about the girls he treated right. Right or wrong?
No. That too, but also the girls he fucked. Like, especially if you know her. Yeah, you start. We will cyber stalk every girl you've ever been involved in.
Who y'all pay attention to? Who you pay attention to?
Definitely to the woman that you cared about, right? You're definitely gonna peel that back. But in my experience, I mean, you'll look at every girl like he's kind of messed with, and you'll be thinking about all the girls he fucked with too, and you'll be wondering if you're ever you're probably never gonna be enough for him.
We have feelings too. I'm glad you realized that. Now think about that.
Yeah.
We got feelings too, bro. We think like that too. We have egos too. Damn, am I satisfying her? Like, she done had 100 niggas. Like, and then not to mention, the more sex you have, the more casual sex you have, the harder it is for you to orgasm. And y'all put this whole orgasm on the man. Like
No. I disagree. Orgasm, and I think most of women know, orgasm comes with the guy that you care about. Like, so if you
right.
like the guy and he likes you and he put in effort, typically you can orgasm.
Now, it's the same way. Like the guy who can literally, it's easier for us to orgasm, but the guys who, like, I can last hours with a girl I don't care about. But it's a girl I care about, like, I can't last 2 minutes. It's the emotions, right?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I have to do tricks and shit. Like, you got to do tricks and stop and, switch positions and shit.
That.
But the girl I don't care, I teach about stuff like this in my courses, by the way, ultimateladiesman.com, go to wait list. The girl who I don't care about, I can fuck her, bam, because there's no emotions tied to it.
That is right? Not what women think.
What? It ain't about what you think, I'm telling you.
I know, but I'm very shocked.
Yeah, it's I can act like I like you and be passionate, but if a dude is smashing you like that, and I'm talking about natural, I'm not talking about that he on some pills but just naturally, nothing. Yeah. Usually he don't have an emotional connection to you, and he almost like has taken you off of a pedestal in his mind. Ask any guy in here, the girl he's head over heels with, how long does he last with her?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, with a woman, it's a lot harder for her. The more casual sex she has, it's a lot harder to get her there. But it's crazy because y'all put the orgasm on the man. It's not my fault that you done fucked 1,000 people. That's not my fault that you can't come because you numb.
No.
You've numbed yourself from taking all that dick, right? That ain't my fault.
No, if you
and from
like
this is just my experience, right? This is just my experience. The women who didn't have the higher bodies were the easiest to lead to orgasm.
No, incorrect. I personally know, especially for a lot of women, it's when you like a man, it's easier to come when you
right.
A connection. Like, so even if you've been through a lot of guys, if you like him, you will be fine. If you don't like him, but I will say it is surprising because I think women, and I think the girls on there saying we're shocked too. I think our mentality was, if he likes you, like, he'll like last forever to, like, take care of you.
Nah. You'll get some guys like me. Like, let's say if I shouldn't be saying this, but whatever, right? Let's say if I meet a chick, right, and I don't really like her like that, and I just want the body, I just want a nut. Yeah. I know I ain't going. I just want to hurry up and get it over with. Yeah. I'll hot dog her and be quick, like, get it out the way quick. Like, just picture somebody else and picture somebody I love, get it out the way quick, get you on about your business, never call you again. Just call the body, right? Yeah. But let's say if it's an attractive woman and I want to keep her around in my rotation or whatever, I'm attracted to her, but I don't like her, like, there hasn't been any feelings developed about her, I could smash her all fucking night. But the woman who you care about, it's the same with us. The woman who you care about, the woman who you like has these emotions for, it's extremely hard to last. Yeah. Naturally. Now you can make a popular pill or go to get the gas station pill. Naturally. Whatever. But naturally, it's hard to stand up in the paint with the woman you emotionally wrapped up in. It's extremely difficult. You got to switch sides. You got to eat it now. You got to do all this crazy shit. Y'all thinking that, oh, he just like to eat it. No, we just trying not to. We're trying to last 10 minutes. So, yeah.
That's interesting. I learned a lot today.
Yeah. Sorry, fellas. I had to put us out there. But, Yeah, so if a dude beating that thing down, he probably don't like you like that. Oh, not to say that he don't like you, but he don't have a connection to you emotionally at that point.
I got you right. And I see the men are co-signing on here.
So, yeah, I'm that's all the way for real.
And the women are like me, we're like, really?
Think about it. Just think about it. Think about your wildest and your best. Yeah. I hope you don't have no husband watching this shit. You be like,
he should be at work right now.
But just think about it. Just think about your wildest and your best. Yeah. Just think about that. Just think about it. The wildest and the best. And who was the guy?
Interesting. All right, Dre. Well, this was a really good conversation. I know we didn't expect it to last this long.
Nah. I know you say you got to go 6:30, right?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So
Okay.
I appreciate you. If you got some more disagreements or something, we can get on here another time. This was actually fun. I don't really
Yeah.
like debating people and shit, but this was cool.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think you had invited me to come on you live because you disagree with Onika Mirage about the whole like we don't dress for you,
Oh, you
and
want to do that again?
next time maybe in a few days we'll like do this again because I really disagree with that too.
All right, yeah. I want to do that one. I
Yeah.
want to do that one. So we'll do that one. This I'm gonna put this on YouTube and all that. So just so you know.
Okay.
It's already on Instagram. I'm more popular on Instagram than I am on YouTube.
Oh man, is the audience tougher on YouTube?
Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. They don't. It's
it is.
you gonna have people ain't gonna like what you say.
Yeah, true story.
You know, don't worry about them. It's on Instagram, so
yeah. All right,
but it makes for a good discussion. And you said some things. I don't think you realize you said some things that could be of a real benefit to these guys. So
see, yeah, but you're telling me that you take care of lames, so I'm kind of like, I'm not sure if I want to help all that. I'm just joking.
I mean, I'm gonna teach it to them anyway. But coming from a woman, it'll
it'll legitimize what they're saying.
Right.
What you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And it was a pleasure to have you up here.
All right. Well, you have a good one.
All right. You too.
All right. So how do I